Fifth grade, we have multiplying decimal numbers today, lesson 109. So I have three examples up here. Maybe you've multiplied decimal numbers before. You follow the same procedure when multiplying decimal numbers as you do multiplying anything else, with one difference here. In your answer, you should always have the same number of decimal spaces as you did at the start of your problem. So this one has two decimal spaces, right? 0.12, two numbers in the decimal space. This one has one decimal space, right? 0.3. And this one has 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So my answer will need 3 decimal places there. So I'm just going to multiply it like I normally would. 6 times 0.12. So 6 times 2 gives me 12. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I have 72. Now, my answer needs 2 decimal places because I originally had 2 decimal places to start with. So what I'm going to do is I place the decimal point here, and then I have my 2 decimal points in my answer, 0.72, just like I had 2 decimal points to start with. See if you can do the next one here, 25 times 0.3. So you can multiply it the same way you would any other number. So I'm going to do 25 times 0.3. Doesn't need to be lined up at all. Yeah. 3 times 5, that gives me 15. 3 times 2 gives me 6, plus 1 gives me 7. So 75. Now, how many decimals did I have to begin with? Just the 3, just one decimal, which means my answer needs 1 decimal place in it. So I'm going to place my decimal point here, and then there's my 1 decimal in my answer. So I have 0.75. All right, last example here. You have 0.15 times 0.9. See if you can do this one on your own. You'll have 3 decimal spots in your answer because you started originally with 3 numbers in the decimal place. So 0.15 times 0.9. It doesn't need to be lined up in any way. I'm just going to put it like I normally would do a multiplication problem. 0.9. Okay. So 9 times 5 gives me 45. 9 times 1 gives me 9, plus 3 gives me 13. All right, now my answer needs 1, 2, 3 decimal spots in my answer. So I'm going to place my decimal right here. That way I have 3 numbers in the decimal place. All right, here's your lesson practice for today. This is very important that you do this. Remember, your answer should always have the same number of decimals as your original problem did. So for letter D, your answer would have 2 decimal places. But for letter H, it would have 3 decimal places. Right? I'm going to do one of these for you. Okay, I'm going to do one that might be a little trickier, just so that you see another example. I'm going to do C for you here. You have 0.12 times 12. So 0.12 times 12. Try it on your own to see if you actually understand this. And then once you have your answer, you can go ahead and press play again and see how it's done. So you multiply it normally. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. All right. Now I go on to the 1, so I add a 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. And then I add. I have a 4, and a 1. Now I look at my original problem. How many decimal spaces did I have? I had 1, 2 numbers in the decimal space. So my answer needs 2 decimals. So I'm going to put my decimal spot right there, because then I have my 2 decimals in my answer, 1.44. This is a kind of a tricky concept. So if you have Any questions? Go back, watch these examples again, try them on your own, see if you get them right on your own. Blessings on the rest of your day.